Hey there, so maybe you just watched my video on how to get into current anime, or maybe you're already into current anime, but you're not sure what to watch this season, spring 2014. Well, I'm here to help because I've watched all the shows that have come out this season. Not all the way through, but I at least sampled each show. And I'm going to tell you which shows I like, which ones I think are worth watching, which ones I would recommend to you. Starting right off with one of the most talked about shows this season, there is Selector Infected Weecross. This is a sort of dark, mysterious character drama about a group of 14-year-old or so girls who get into a card game called Weecross. And what each of them finds out is that basically they are chosen to play in a special version of this game, like a supernatural competitive game, to try and become an eternal girl. Each of these girls has a wish that they want to come true, and if they win a certain number of matches of Weecross with other girls who are competing, then they will be one step closer to becoming an eternal girl and getting their wish that they want. As the show goes along, it very quickly becomes apparent that there's a dark and disturbing undertone to it. I would describe this as a sort of a horror show. On the one hand, there's not a lot of super dramatic things, and it's definitely not violent. It's not as much of a horror series as Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica, which a lot of people compare this show to. Both of them are similarly about a bunch of young girls trying to accomplish a wish, but this show puts the girls in direct opposition. There's not as much in the way of outright horror, but there's a lot of drama, and some disturbing things do happen, and as the show goes along and you learn more and more about what's really going on, it becomes more disturbing. It's a bit of a slow burner, and it's not going to be for everyone, but I think that it's got one of the most broad appeals of the shows that are airing right now. Moving along, getting a little bit more artistic, we have the second series of Mushishi. You can watch this even if you've never heard of Mushishi, because even though it's a sequel to the original series, every episode is completely episodic. You could watch these in any order, it would not matter. You could just hit random episode. Mushishi is a series about a traveler named Ginkgo who can see and interact with mushi, which are microorganisms that basically have a sort of spiritual effect on the world around them. Mushi are sort of like a primal being. They're like part of the Earth's own spirit. Most people aren't aware of them. The effects they have on people can range from positive to very negative, and basically Ginkgo goes around and solves problems with mushi. When people have run-ins with mushi, he comes and helps them out because he understands them better. It's a sort of relaxing show with very gorgeous artwork. That's pretty much the biggest draw of the Mushishi franchise, is that it's beautiful to look at, very interesting. It's sort of like watching folk tales happen in real life, is the best way I could put it. If you like sports anime, this season is for you. And if you have never watched sports anime, I recommend trying it before you dismiss it. I think most people who don't watch sports shows, it's mostly because they don't watch sports, or they don't play sports, or they just have no interest in sports. But I promise you, sports anime is very different from watching sports. It's not about just the sport happening, it's about the characters and what they're going through. Typically, it's a young male character who's trying to become good at a sport. He gets into it, and he starts making progress in this sport. But you're not watching it for the sport necessarily so much as you are for the progress of this character. And it can make you invested in the sport scenes if you care about the character, and that's really the magic of sports anime. So this season there are 3 great sports shows. The first one is Baby Steps, a show about tennis. It's about a guy who has no real passion or drive for anything in his life. He just kind of skates through, but he's really good at school. He's very efficient. The guy studies constantly. He takes these incredibly detailed notes. And he's just generally a happy-go-lucky guy who hasn't really given much thought to his future and things like that. One day he starts playing tennis literally because he just wants something physical to do because he doesn't get enough physical activity, and he ends up getting really invested in tennis as he realizes that some of the things that he's done already, like his study habits, his note-taking, and his incredible eyesight, he finds out are a big help in becoming a good tennis player. And so he keeps getting more and more into it and better at the sport. It's really exciting to watch. Up next, for a different kind of tennis, we have Ping-Pong. This is the most experimental, out there show that's coming out this season. It's from a director named Masaaki Yuasa, who's known for doing a lot of the more art house anime out there. Ping-Pong is an exciting, dense, and interesting show. I would definitely go so far as to say it's the best written show of the season and the one with the most depth and things going on in it. It has a lot of interesting themes going on behind it about talent and about just the way people sort of grow up and the way that they are challenged throughout their life. It's also about the way that individuals affect one another and the kinds of effects that people have through their actions. It's got a really unique and interesting art style that will probably turn a lot of people off. A lot of people are going to think this show looks ugly and they're not going to want to watch it. And I don't blame you for that, but you're missing out on one of the cooler shows this season. And when the show looks beautiful, because it is really high quality animation, it's just the artwork will turn some people off. But if you can appreciate this style of animation, it will blow your mind sometimes when they get into the really intense ping-pong matches. And the last good sports anime this season is Haikyuu, which is about volleyball. This is a more simplistic sports story. It's just about a bunch of high schoolers who are really passionately into volleyball. There's one kid, he's really short, but he makes up for it with incredible speed and jumping ability. And he's basically grown up being obsessed with volleyball but having no one to play it with, because he lived out in the countryside and they didn't have a volleyball team. And then the other major character is this guy who's incredibly tall. He's always been an all-star volleyball player and stuff, but he's a bad team player. And basically these two sort of complement each other really well, and the basis of the show is seeing how these two's volleyball styles and their personalities will mix and make them into better players altogether. The show is gorgeously animated, it's cute, it's fun, it's funny, it's got a lot of great humor in it, so it's definitely one that I can see a lot of people appreciating. Moving along from that, if you like cute girls doing cute things show, definitely check out Is the Order a Rabbit, also known as Gochuman wa Usagi desu ka, if you are speaking Japanese, and I butchered it, but whatever. This is for the kind of people who are into shows like Lucky Star, Yudu Yuri would be a great comparison, Ichigo Marshmallow, any of these shows that are about just a bunch of cute little girls doing adorable things, and it's funny and heartwarming and just fun to watch. If you like that kind of show, this is definitely up your alley. It's very funny, the characters are memorable, I enjoy watching it every week with my little brother. You're not going to get anything particularly deep, and if you watch the first episode or two and you don't like it, then that's always going to be like that. It's very consistent. You know what you're getting into as you watch it. If you like giant robots, there are 3 different shows for you to watch this season, but all 3 of them are sort of debatable on quality. First one is Captain Earth, which is pretty okay. I found it boring. I couldn't get into it. It's sort of a mystery show, but the characters aren't that interesting. It's gorgeous to look at, but not much goes on. So personally, I don't recommend Captain Earth, but if you're really into giant robots, like that's your favorite genre, maybe give it a try. There's also a show called Knights of Sidonia, which is CG animated, which is going to turn a lot of people off right off the bat, because it definitely looks odd. But it's a sort of like high concept sci-fi series that's in deep space. It has a lot of interesting sci-fi concepts. Personally, I find the characters really boring. There's a lot of weird harem elements to it that don't really fit the tone of the rest of the show, but a lot of people are really into this one. Sci-fi fans and mecha fans really dig it. The battles are well put together, well orchestrated. There's a lot of death in this. If you want to watch a dark sci-fi, like something gritty where people die and the stakes are always high and you're always afraid for characters' lives, this show will definitely appeal to you in that way. Personally, I gave up watching it, so your mileage may vary. Lastly, there's M3, which is the only giant robot show that I actually have been enjoying this season, although it's not really heavy on giant robots. The robots kind of take a backseat. It's not the prettiest show around, it's kind of weird and can't really tell where it's planning to go, but personally I like the characters and I like the dialogue, and those are pretty important things to me. It's another very dark, very violent, very gritty, disturbing series. It's sort of a psychological thriller about a bunch of characters who all have sort of disparate personalities, but they have an innate connection mentally. And so they're sort of trying to become a group together. Again, I don't really get where this show's going after 5 episodes that I've seen, but it's just interesting enough to keep my attention. Maybe it'll turn into a complete train wreck later, I have no idea. But I enjoy it, I say give it a shot, but if you don't like it, then whatever. If you are into Vocaloid, you should probably check out Mikaku City Actors. This series is an adaptation of a famous series of Vocaloid music videos, which were also adapted into a book and a manga series. They're called the Kagedo Project, and I guess they're pretty famous because they made a TV show out of it, and a lot of people seem to know about the project in general. Mikaku City Actors is a weird show. It's very disconnected. It has no apparent plot. Most of the scenes are just characters sharing incredibly long dialogue scenes together. If you've ever watched any shows by by the studio Shaft, such as Bakemonogatari or Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, shows like that, you'll have a pretty decent idea of what this show is like. It feels a lot like Bakemonogatari especially, but whether or not you're going to enjoy it will probably depend on how invested you get in the characters and whether or not you care about Kagero Project already. Personally, I mostly watch it just because I have no idea what's going on, and it's entertaining to try to see where the hell this show is going and how weird each episode might be. But it seems like most of the people who are watching it because they're already invested in the Kagero Project. Another show that's gotten a lot of attention this season is No Game, No Life. This is a fun adventure comedy show where the two main characters are these shut-in gamers. It's like a brother and sister duo. They're not like blood brother and sister, but they live together and they play a lot of video games as a team, and they're basically undefeatable in every video game ever. And the two of them get sucked into another world where everything is run by games. Basically, the better of a gamer you are, the more you're going to be able to conquer this world, no matter what kind of game it is. And so basically these two are here to sort of conquer the world with their skills at games. The main thrust of the series, what makes it interesting, is when they play the games, because they're cleverly done tactical battles of wits between the characters, and it's entertaining to watch them unfold. However, the series also has a lot of perverted humor, a lot of fan service and sexual comedy, which will probably turn a lot of people off, and otherwise turn a lot of people on in both ways. But in general, I think the fan service aspect of the series is really weak. It usually comes off as just distracting and boring and takes away from the interest of the rest of the series. And the fact that it's based on a sort of long-running novel series and the anime is only planned to have like 13 episodes, it's barely made any progress, makes it feel like it's not going to have a satisfying ending at all. So I don't know how much I recommend this show personally, but I know a lot of people are enjoying it. It's been pretty popular among the anime watching crowd. So if you're the kind of person who watches a lot of late night otaku-oriented programming and stuff like that, where, you know, you expect the characters to be sexualized and you expect a lot of fan service, then you might enjoy this series. Another one that's been pretty big in the anime community is Chaka, the Coffin Princess. This is a adventure action show that's got a lot of like video gamey feel to it. If you're into like RPGs and you want to see like an anime that feels like an RPG storyline, this might be for you. Personally, I found it kind of boring. I only watched 2 episodes, and I decided that if people tell me that it's really good later on, then maybe I'll go back and watch it. But it seems to be appealing to a lot of people. A lot of people like the main character Chaka because she's adorable and has a giant rifle, and the fight scenes are really solid. It's animated by Studio Bones, who always do a great job with animation on fight scenes, so might be worth checking out for some people. And last but not least, there's Nanana's Buried Treasure. This is a mystery show with elements of comedy and action and adventure and all kinds of other things. It's a very strange show. It covers a lot of ground, but I would say that more than anything, it's a mystery thriller kind of show. It holds a lot of information from the viewer, so as you're watching it, you kind of keep learning new things about the characters that make you rethink what you've seen before in the show. It's got a great color scheme, memorable characters, some decent writing a lot of the time, so I'd say overall it's worth watching. I still haven't quite got a hold on whether I like it or not, because some of the episodes kind of piss me off. If you watch my episodic vlogs of it, you'll understand why. But altogether, I'm enjoying the show. I like the aesthetic, and if it ends well, then I'll be really satisfied with it. If you have any interest in like a mysterious adventure thriller, then definitely give it a shot. Anyway, that does it for shows that I would recommend to you. Remember, these are just my opinions. This is not all of the shows that are out this season. There's other ones that you might enjoy. A lot of people enjoy Ishukan Friends or 1 Week Friends, which is a sort of low-key drama that is like a romantic comedy kind of show, and a lot of people are into it. I personally don't feel it at all, but if you like dramatic, romantic sort of shows about like high school kids who are adorable, then maybe go watch that. If you want to watch really stupid action shows that are entertaining, then Black Bullet. The first 4 episodes are extremely entertaining. There's also Akuma no Riddle, which a lot of people have been kinda liking, but I thought it was completely lame. But everything else that I saw, I really can't recommend at all. But that's just my opinion, and it's okay if you disagree. And if you want to look into other shows, by all means do so. Please do not comment about how I skipped this show that you like, because I don't recommend it, obviously. But you can. You can in the comments, or make your own video, or whatever. Anyway, those are my shows. Hope you enjoy.